so much for being here. I'm really excited to show you what I've been doing this summer. Yeah, it was a lot of work to get here. Not only was it the grant that I got, the summer undergraduate research fellowship through the university, but a few other different grants and scholarships.
Okay, wait, you need to say how many and how much, because that's impressive.
So I got a total of 6 different scholarships and grants this summer. 3 of them through the university, 1 of them from one of the music intensives I went to, and then 1 through my music fraternity, and another one through the Music Performance Trust Fund. And so in total, I got $10,100.
Wow. Who gave the $100? Sorry.
Yeah, so that about covered everything that I did, all the flights, hotels, the intensives, going to Switzerland. Yeah, so I'm really grateful for that. Yes. I do want to say a word to the Alphorn Project, just because this whole experience this summer would not have been possible without the Alphorn Project. We have been so grateful to receive the Alphorns of this university, University of the Pacific. I know that the Alphorn Project is new. It's only, it's a baby, but it has done wonderful things. Having the Alphorns in the brass studio and the horn studio, being able to perform them out and about at the Southwest Regional Horn Conference. We did that in Utah, also on Professor Glass's spring recital. There was a lot that we have gotten to do with the Alphorns, even though they are still new here. And so this project was another one of those kind of extensions, extracurricular things, and even the Pacific Alphorn Ensemble. These are all new things that are just flourishing here. Yeah, hopefully they continue. Okay, so my research project is called Using Century-Old Methods to Inform Modern Horn Playing and Pedagogy, a practice-based investigation of Alphorn applications. So, the premises for the project is that I would attend 3 different music intensives. Some of them use Alphorn, some of them just use a little bit of Alphorns. And then I would go to Switzerland to participate in the International Alphorn Festival and play with an Alphorn group over there, and then take everything that I have learned and see how it applies to modern horn playing, and really just modern brass playing in general, because the Alphorn is not an instrument just for horn players, it's for all brass. So I'm going to walk you through some of the intensives now, just very briefly. This first one was Cormont Horn Camp. Stasia and Professor Glass and Natalie, or Dr. Grana, are all on faculty for this intensive. And what really, the most memorable thing for me was this progressive class that we did called Back to the Harmonic series. And we would start on Alphorn, go to natural horn, and then end up back on our modern horns again. And so having that exposure, daily exposure to the harmonic series in this progressive setting is what the Alphorn is about. It's the harmonic series. This is the fundamentals at its core are the harmonic series. Yes, and it was really cool to see everyone playing the Alphorns, because usually you go to these intensives and people don't know what it is, or they haven't played one before, or they've only heard about it once or twice. So yeah. The next one was the Indiana University Brass Academy. While I was there, I got to meet Dr. Katie Ambrose and Mr. Serafinoff. He's a natural horn specialist, but he does a lot of work with the harmonic series because he's building them and teaching about them. Yeah, so it was really nice to be there and see them. Also, once again, the participants didn't really know what Alphorns were or had never played one before. Usually it's like, do you know what the Ricola commercial is? And they're like, oh, now I know it. But that's kind of their only exposure. The last intensive was the Eastman Summer Horn Institute. This intensive revolved around audition excerpts, and so my job at this intensive was to see how I could use Alphorn as a way to practice and understand those excerpts. A lot of things that are, also played on natural horn, like the Mozart and like the Brahms stuff. Yes, we can use the Alphorn before we get there. And so even though there was no designated Alphorn portion of this intensive, I did bring the Alphorn out for people to play. They heard that I had one, they were really excited, and they started trying to figure out what excerpts they could play, things they could do. And yes, I really enjoyed watching them try and figure that out. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about the different fundamentals that the Alphorn helps us exercise. There's a ton of them, but these are just some of the biggest ones. And you already know them because we've been encountering them in different sessions. Well, over here. Lip flexibility. The Alphorn is all about using our lips. There's no vowels, there's nothing to help us. We're stripped of the vowels, stripped of the bells and whistles. And so we have to rely on our lips to make the sound, to move between the notes. And it's super important just to have anytime we're playing brass instruments. Another one, range expansion. The Alphorn has such a large, French horn and Alphorn, the largest range of the harmonic series. Other brass instruments like tuba and trombone, as we know, also have the range, but not so large. And so playing through the harmonic series on Alphorn helps us get all of that. And even just moving up and down one harmonic at a time, practicing that, going between them, helps us exercise those muscles. And next, audiation, as we talked about the other day. Yes, just such a good tool. When you're hearing yourself from 12 feet away, it's a good exercise, good practice, and also just finding hearing those notes, hearing where they slot, where they go, where they are. Yes. And also just our tone production. It's the Alphorn, it's a beautiful instrument. And so being able to, yes, get that beauty and then also have that on our regular brass instruments. Yeah. And then also our posture. Sadie talked about the up and away motion. That's very prominent in there. And having that groundedness to the floor. Being grounded helps with all these different things. Now there's some things that the Alphorn can't do, like obviously we couldn't practice Stockton with it, our arms just aren't long enough, but there's a lot that it can do. Yes, and then I have the harmonic series right here, just to give a visual of what we're dealing with. Yes. But when we take the Alphorn, like I mentioned, it is just fundamentals at the core. Just this one length of tubing that we have to work with. Okay, now, when we take a traditional Swiss folk instrument and we bring it into an academic setting, it is important that we do not institutionalize the instrument. We need to preserve the origins. It's important that we do not forget where the instrument came from, how it came to be. It's a traditional Swiss folk instrument. So, to do that, that's why I went to Switzerland, to understand that, to understand the culture, and to bring it back with me. Now I'm going to share a little bit about Switzerland, a lot about Switzerland. Switzerland! It was so beautiful. We played in so many different beautiful places, and it was really such a treat. So the first part of the trip, we went to the International Alphorn Festival. I competed as a soloist over there, and before I went, I did not know much about it. I mean, who does, you know? So it was definitely just learning about, oh, I need to wear something special. Oh, I need to play something that fits the style. We're gonna play in F sharp the whole time. It was all new, but very exciting. Just such a wonderful experience. the whole day, there are different categories: soloist, formation, which is like group playing, and then also the off competition, which is just contemporary Alphorn. So getting to watch that and be there for that in Switzerland, the birthplace of the Alphorn, was really once in a lifetime, you know? You only get to experience that and see it and live it once. But now I know all the things, and yeah, hopefully I can go back again. I'll speak more on the different styles of playing and things that I learned later. Yes. We also met a couple different makers, Archie and Heinz, Bernatone. These are from the shops that we visited. This is another big part of their culture over there. They go to a maker, they ask for a horn to be made, and that is how they get their instruments. Here, it's just like, okay, order it. You don't get to see all this. You don't get to be there and see how they do it, everything that happens. It's really interesting to do that. Yeah, just a really wonderful experience. We also went to Heinz's farm, and he gave us some of his cheese, so that was really fun and exciting. Okay, and then also the cheese huts. This is a really fun part of our trip too. We did a ton of fun hikes and went up to these cheese huts. You can also see the traditional like cowbells over here that they put on their cows. We played Alphorn for them and they gave us cheese. It was really beautiful and special. Swiss National Day. This was another huge part of our trip. We went from playing in a competition to then playing for a celebration, Swiss National Day. And while we were there, we played multiple gigs, performances. We went across just different regions and played for Swiss National Day. And this kind of playing in this setting is so, it's just wonderful to be there as a group and with other people, getting to experience that together, getting to learn from other people, especially with these people who are Alphorn players, they're Swiss Alphorn players. This is what they do, this is what they do. It was nice to just absorb from them, to take in their playing. Yes, and we were so lucky to go around with Beppy, our tour guide. He plays for the Alphorn group Echo von Bursek, and he took us around with his group, and that's who we were playing the performances with while we were there. So we went from the west part of Switzerland, the French-speaking part, in Nanda, to the east of Switzerland, over and we kind of traveled throughout Nanda to Hobkern and Interlaken and then to Zurich. And so we ended up in the German-speaking part. There's different styles of playing that I learned about while I was there, and especially from Beppy too. The French-Swiss style of playing is lighter, say, more moving with tempo and stuff. And then the German Swiss style of playing is more rubato. There's more time, and I'd say flowier. Yes. And it was really cool to learn about that from Beppy and to be there with him and for him to just tell us how things went over there. I'd like to focus more on some personal reflections. There's a lot that I learned. Aside from the styles of playing, there's also just different things that happen for different groups and regions. All the different cantons have their own tracht that they wear. So that was really interesting to see and really beautiful too, everyone in their clothing and dressed up. Other things, like for Beppy's group, they do this thing called dry clump. Dry clong is where you play before each piece a triad, C, E, G, and then your first note, and then you start playing. However, when everyone has the same note, you just go and start. So there were things like that, and there were other rules too. One of them being that you weren't really allowed to play warm-up notes on your own. You were supposed to wait for the group. You could buzz on your own, but no warm-up notes. And so hearing about that, and understanding that different Alphorn groups, they play in different ways, they have their own rules. It's a rite of passage to play in an Alphorn group, over there, to be with them, and to have that community, your own Alphorn community. Yes, it was really interesting. But also, aside from learning all about the culture and seeing that happen in real time, my own French horn playing, when I come back to modern horn, when I came back to modern horn after, you feel freer. French horn, when you have all the vowels there, it can be stressful. There can be just this built-in tension with the instrument. And the Alphorn is so simple. It's just a single link of tubing. And especially playing outside, that's freeing. That is so wonderfully freeing. And I think it makes playing our French horn or just our regular brass instruments feel easier, feel better. There was one thing that the president of the International Alphorn Festival said. He was giving a speech, and he said, "Tradition does not live in books. It lives through the men and the women and the people who carry it on." And so, me being there, and absorbing all of this culture and tradition, and bringing it back with me is what I want to do. A lot of the stuff that I learned, a lot of these Swiss traditions are oral traditions. You cannot pick up a book and read it. You cannot simply do that. And so it's important that we pass them on orally, and that we learn about them, and that we keep playing the music from over there. Yeah, we need to keep doing that. So, I think there's one more thing. What was I gonna say? Oh, yes. The goal of this project is to just keep having Alphorn be a teaching tool, pedagogical tool, to keep having it in universities like this, but to also make sure that that culture is being preserved and that we're learning about all parts of the Alphorn. The Alphorn is a versatile instrument with history and background that needs to be remembered. And so, to finish it off, I would like to say that there is much more to come of this project. One of them being the AANA newsletter, which I will be writing an article for, and will come out in the third quarter issue. And then also a joint lecture recital with Professor Glass on Wednesday, September 30th. And these two things are just kind of ones that I picked out of other newsletters I'll be writing for and other university showcases I'll be doing. Yeah, I'm really excited. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I assume you're going to questions.
Oh, yes, this is time for questions
Okay.
now, yeah.
It seemed like a nice conclusion.
Yes, yes.
Okay. You said earlier that we must avoid institutionalizing the Alphorn.
Yes.
And respect the tradition. Could you give an example of the negative aspects of institutionalization? Because I don't get what you're getting at.
So, if we were to just take the Alphorn and use it simply for learning excerpts, simply for exercising our lip muscles, only that. If we didn't care to learn about its actual history and we forgot, we just didn't take the time to go through that. That would be an example of the institutionalization of the Alphorn.
How do you balance the emphasis on new compositions that may or may not take into account the traditional musical context of the Alphorn versus learning the standards, you know, the standard repertoire that are more folk-oriented or you know, older compositions. How do you propose we strike that balance?
I propose that we just play both. I know that I'm not extremely like knowledgeable in it, but I believe it's this practice of like historical performance and learning about historical instruments through that historical lens, and so that's something that we can do with the Alphorn and create a curriculum around universities, but also like we play modern music in the Pacific Alphorn Ensemble. We play music that was written today too by living composers.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think it's important to have both, but just playing music from both of those sides. Yeah.
Fair.
We don't, yeah.
Fair.
Yes.
My question is, I don't know, maybe it's related, but you said in the beginning that your goal was to inform modern horn playing by understanding more about Alphorn,
Mm-hmm.
right? And do you feel like your goal now might have shifted from your goal at the outset when you think about what Alphorn is and what it represents?
Yes, for sure. There's a lot that I learned about after this whole project that I had not known about before, didn't even think that I would learn. Just a lot about the culture and tradition that I was like, oh, there's these different styles. How can that's something I can be conscious of when I'm playing Alphorn. When I'm playing a piece, who was this written by? Where are they from? What region? And then that's something I can take with me. But also just when I'm playing horn too, that's something that I'm doing. It's mainly with the harmonic series, I think, just like having the Alphorn there and only being able to work with the harmonic series, taking that back to horn. It's kind of the big picture. Yeah, but there's so many different moving parts to it, like maintaining the culture, just all the things. There's a lot. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you think it's okay to play the Alphorn with other instruments, or do you think it can just be Alphorn?
I think Alphorn, there's no right or wrong way to play the Alphorn, or right or wrong environment or place to put it, context, ensemble. I know people are playing Alphorn now with like orchestras. I think Hazeldean Davis recently did a performance. She's another Alphorn ambassador. She recently did a performance with an orchestra playing Alphorn. People are doing that. Alphorn should be whatever people want it to be, yeah. Are there any other questions? Okay.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here.
Can't wait for your graduate recital.
Remember, she's only
A rising sophomore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, senior recital.
Yeah.